Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Man, I am thrilled this morning. Got my sister girl, Ava, on the phone. Ava, talk to us. How are you?
Hi, Kev. I'm fine. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm ready to rock and roll, ready to share some experiences, and grateful just to be welcomed on your podcast. This is awesome.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right into it. So as you know, the podcast, the platform is about the entrepreneurial spirit. How do you possess it? How do you control it? What have you done with it? So let's start with that part first. So you're on the podcast. What is the name of your business?
It's Strawberry Fields, and it's a cafe, coffee shop, and it's located in New Providence, New Jersey. And I'm coming up on 7 years as the owner.
Wait, hold up. Now, wait. I don't even know that. You know, I'm thinking like 3 years. 7 years? Congratulations.
Yes. 7 years. That doesn't mean it hasn't been a tough journey, or it doesn't continue to be a tough journey. So yep. I'm still there. Doors are still open. So I'm blessed. Absolutely.
So let's start with the beginning. When did you decide that you wanted to become an entrepreneur, and when did you decide that this was what you wanted to move on?
It was pretty organic for me. As you know, I was in the corporate culture, pharmaceutical world for 20 years.
Yes.
And it was while I was working where I saw what was happening in corporate culture, and I saw limitations and just challenges being put upon me. And I just internally, I thought, I want to set my own bar. I don't want to be limited by anyone. I don't want anyone to identify me, where I can go and where I can't go. So I just immediately started thinking outside of that box. Yes. And that kind of started with, Kevin, as you know, that started with buying property. That's how that came. Okay. And then there was an opportunity. I attended, and I can't remember, it was a multi-level, which I didn't know when I went there. I was invited to a presentation. But on the video presentation, there was a quote or video, and they said, if there's something that is challenging, if there's an opportunity that is challenging to you, don't run away from it, take it.
Yes.
So I was looking for, my heart was open to investing in a business. And I actually called the gentleman and I said, I wanted to, I asked him about the shop that was here that he owned. It was Strawberry Fields. And I said, I was just just asking him questions. And he said, hey, this might be an opportunity for you. Let's talk about it. And one thing led to another, and I ended up buying his business.
Wow. Now let's stop right there, because as you were talking about Strawberry Fields, you hinted to your first foray into entrepreneurialism where you started buying property. Let's talk about that first, right?
Yeah.
So when did that start? How did that start?
That was in 1999, actually, or maybe even before that. That's when, to be quite honest, that's when they were just throwing loans at folks, right?
Okay.
Like everybody could buy a property. But my mother lived in South Trenton at that time, and I would when I visited her, I would walk to the train station and I would look at this property, this beautiful brick 3-story building.
Yes.
And it said for sale by owner, and I would just pass it while walking to the train. The block was quiet, and I would just look at it and say, wow, that's a nice building. And I think just after time seeing that sign there, I inquired about it.
Yes.
And it happened for me.
Wow.
It happened. Yeah.
Okay. So
that's why I was that's when I was working, still working. That was quite early in my career.
Yes. Let's break down that process. So seeing a sign and being able to move on this sign for a lot of us is two different things, right? So at that time, you're still in corporate America. Mm-hmm. As you're walking past this sign, are you thinking about, I'm going to purchase this building, but I need to put together a business plan? What part of that, when did that part of the process come into play?
I think that many times we don't know how to do it. You figure it out as you go along. I think that's an entrepreneur. That's the essence of an entrepreneur.
Got you.
That's the essence of even with someone who, either an organic entrepreneur, someone who's who's creative and innovative, and that's also a person who, to me, an athlete, you can relate how you just get out there and you do it and you're self-motivated. That's someone who you have, I think, these skills, these soft skills that allow you to complete a task or figure it out. Okay. So I think between me figuring out how to go to college, between like being an athlete and knowing the self-motivation that comes with that, those are things that become part of you. Yes. That says, I could do this, I can make this happen, or I could figure it out. And I think that's simply what happened with me. Okay, you know what? That's the first time I've heard of it that way, like the organic nature of entrepreneurialism. I like that. I like that. So we're going to probably start to use that more often. But I like that. Okay, so you've got this organic movement going on. You feel like you can do it. You think you've got all the skill sets for it. And be mindful, you're still in corporate America. And so what was your job at that time in corporate America? I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, and I was in regulatory. Okay, so regulatory compliance. Okay, so you look at a lot of numbers, a lot of paperwork, a lot of analysis. Actually, no. Regulatory is simply put, it's ensuring that documents, information, submissions arrive to the FDA. Okay. Compliant, right? Okay. So we're in charge of compliance. Okay, so I guess a lot of research, a lot of due diligence is involved in that part of it. I would say due diligence. Okay. Because everything, there's a specific way to do everything, and we have to make sure that we follow guidelines and we adhere to submission dates. So there are annual reports, annual submissions that it's just ongoing year after year after year. We are primarily where I work primarily with post-approval. That means after a product is approved, and all of the things that you have to do to ensure that it remains compliant. Wow. Okay, so based on that, then you were set up to look at the housing market.
because you knew how to do, I guess, the research, to follow up, the due diligence.
Based on that, there's a house for sale, and you just the first thing that you have to do is agree on the price of it.
Yes.
Then you have to get an inspection, and when you have like a realtor or an agent and an attorney, they pretty much guide you through it.
Yes. Okay.
But again, and I was, of course, younger then, because that's 20 years ago, and I think the young version of us is always less fearless. If I don't know if you can relate to that, or if it's just me.
No,
but
you're right.
Because you don't know barriers, or you don't know obstacles yet.
Yes.
You don't have the worry yet.
Yes.
So you're more fearless to go into something. When I went into the business, I was fearless.
Yes.
And then, fast forward, 7 years later, I'm like, oh shit, it's like, this is real.
Yeah.
It got real.
I wasn't thinking that part. Yeah, I got you. No, that's
exactly.
that's a good point.
What was I thinking?
Because in my entrepreneurial classes, we always talk about sometimes the best time to start a business is when you're young.
Right.
You are fearless. You don't have so many things to bog you down, right? You feel nimble. You know that if you do fail, which is quite possible, you're young enough, you're strong enough to bounce back. But at the same time, though, research is also sharing with us now that sometimes the seasonal entrepreneur or serial entrepreneur, the senior entrepreneur, when he or she moves into a business venture, because in the back of their mind, they've gone through so many scenarios where there is failure, they are still a risk taker, but the risk is not as great as it once was, because they've calculated the downside. So yeah, so I certainly do understand that. So you get the first property under your belt. Hooray! You are a entrepreneur. You are a not necessarily a homeowner, but you're an entrepreneur. So you're going to rent out this property, right?
Right.
When do you take on your second property?
3 years later.
3 years later. Okay. Working with the same team?
Different team.
Okay.
This property was supposedly in an area in a community that it was supposed to go. That was going through a what do you call it? Renaissance period, or there's another word that
gentrification.
No. Heck no, not gentrification.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not there in South Trenton, but with the baseball field, that area,
Gotcha.
it was supposed to go through, and then a renaissance. The property value, bottom line, is supposed to increase. That was the hope, right?
Okay.
That's always the hope. It's also the risk that you take when you buy property. It's always a risk, but values go down, which they certainly did in 2008, and they come back up, which they certainly are in 2022, right? So it's taken. Look how many years it's taken for there to be, and I'm not going to say a significant rise in the value or the market value, but a steady rise. Okay. So it's looking better than it has in terms of value that it has in the past.
Now, Ava, what did you do different from the first purchase versus the second purchase? What did you do different, if anything at all?
I don't think I did anything differently, to be quite honest.
Okay.
I don't think even at the time that I bought the second property that I did things quite right.
Okay.
And I made a lot of mistakes. Had wore my heart on my sleeve with people.
Yes.
I lost a lot in terms of tenancy and people not doing the right thing. But I think that's part of being a landlord.
Yes.
You do share in loss, and you have to try to mitigate that as much as you possibly can and as quickly as you can.
You said you wore your heart on your sleeve. What that means many things to different people. What did it mean for you at that time?
That means if someone gave me a story,
Yes.
or if they, didn't have all the right qualifications or the
Yes.
background checks, that I might let them slide. I did that with a close friend of mine.
Yes.
He was in a situation. He wanted to move into one of my apartments very quickly. It wasn't ready. And, the end result is that, we ended up falling out as friends.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
So that's what I mean. Like, it's business.
Yes.
And that's what you have, no matter what, it has to remain business.
Yes. Wow. Understood. So I guess I wear two of my hearts on both my sleeves. All right. So now, when do we make the big jump that we still are excited about business and we want to pursue strawberry fields? When do we make that jump?
That's in 2015.
2015.
And
Okay.
2015, and 2015, and I ended my pharmaceutical career in 2019. So there were 4 years going on.
Yes.
Where I was doing both at the same time.
All right. Multitasking. Yes.
That was, and it was too much because
Okay.
at the same time, and as you know, because you know me personally,
Yes.
I was also a caretaker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
that was a crazy, crazy time in my life.
Yes.
And looking back at it, I'm not even sure how I did it.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we've got time to break that down. I know how you did it. You know how you did it, but I don't know if you want to share with the audience how you did it.
I will say this. Like, I will keep it general, and I would
Yes.
say that, and I've even read this. I read this a while back, and I agree with it. If you can go into a business with a partner and someone who you know really well, someone who you trust, and you're on the same page, and you have this kind of chemistry,
Yes.
for me, it's the best case scenario, because that means if one cannot do, the other one can, or where one has certain tasks that
Yes.
they're good at, maybe the other one doesn't, and they're good in another area. Maybe one's creative, maybe one's more business.
Yes.
It's hard to be both people, to be the creative and the business person with the numbers. Okay.
Understood.
And if you're running a business, the numbers are very important.
Yes.
In fact, the numbers are everything.
Okay. Now I want to take a break right there because I want to come back to how important the numbers are. But I thought you were going to go down a different direction when I said I knew why this was able to happen. I was thinking about the spiritual connectiveness that you had. Your mother, God bless her, was a praying woman like nobody's business. And I remember on several occasions, she would often share with me that she would not get out of her bed until God gave her direction. And I'm just beginning to understand the power of prayer, the power of being faithful. So that's the part that I thought you were going to move into, because I know that while you had your challenges at that time, your mother was there praying on your behalf and just giving you strength. And that's a value, that's a soft skill that you can't even put a price tag on. So that's the part where I was going. And might I also say that when I started my vending machine business, your mother came to the open house and gave me a Bible as the open house gift. And I still have it to this day. And I use it every day. So your mother was a major, major influence on me and also on the spiritual growth of my life. So I just say, God bless you.
Yeah. No, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
Of course, prayer and faith is an integral part of my very being. And I think where that comes in is in those times when I would be, oh my God, those oh my God times, or those times when I would worry. I learned to say, okay, God, you take care of this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to go to sleep tonight. I'm just going to be able to, I'm going to hand this over to you, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to pray about it, and I'm just going to kind of let you guide me. And I think that, and I'm not saying that I have been consistent with that,
Yes.
but I do know how to go there. And I've had to go there so many times.
Absolutely. Ava,
So many times.
let me stop you one more time and ask you, with your permission, if we can go down this other road. Now, you the other road that I want to go down to is, I want the listening audience to know that your mother was also an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
So can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
in the and I have to say that I have an older sister. As
Yes.
you know, you guys are
Yeah.
BFFs.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
she knows more historically and remembers more historically. But I will tell you that growing up, my mom had the first, what we call, record shop
Yes.
in Staten Island.
Yes.
And she was a pioneer. She and her sister at one time ran the shop. And so I was raised behind the counter of a record shop.
Yes.
We sold albums, 8-track tapes, 45s, bamboo pipes, posters, those glow in the dark posters
Yeah.
with the purple bulb that went to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the life, and right. And so when I would come home from school,
Yes.
I would walk home from school, I'd come to the record shop. And
Yes.
one of the things that was kind of iconic, I'll use that word too, the record shop,
Yes.
is that we had this big speaker. I mean, this speaker was at least 3 feet,
Yeah.
and it always stood outside the door.
Yes.
That's where it went. So you open up the shop, you put the speaker out, and so all the music, we would play the music, and we'd blast,
Yes.
and people would literally come to, they would hear the music.
Yes.
That was it was a gathering place. So I grew up around an eclectic.
Yes. I love that word.
Yeah.
Eclectic. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Gathering
Variety
of people.
of music.
And people.
Yeah.
Yes. And music. Okay.
Yeah, and music.
Yeah.
It was music. It was the hood. It was hood.
Yeah.
We didn't know we were in the hood, but we were in the hood.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then later in years she opened up a wig shop. So
Yes.
it was which was right next door. So we had a record shop, we had a wig shop. And the crazy thing, that my mom would do, and it's a whole different time. Me and my sister would go to the city. We lived in Staten Island.
Yes.
And we were young. My mom would send us to the city to get records. By ourselves. To pick up. And for the listening audience, they may not get it. They're like, because you have to know where Staten Island is, and you
Yes.
have to know how you get to Manhattan.
Yes.
So the way you get to Manhattan from Staten Island, you have to get on the ferry boat.
Staten
Number
Island
one,
ferry, yep.
that's the only way.
Yes.
So I would get on a boat, and then you have to, after you get off the boat, you have to get on a train.
Yes.
So now you have to get on a train, and then you have to follow these directions on a piece of paper how to get to the store.
Yes.
So that's what me and my sister would do when we were young.
Yes. Yes. But I think the other part of it is women starting businesses at that time was perhaps unheard of, not to the numbers that we
Right.
have today. So the level of faithfulness, the level of risk taking, the level of her entrepreneurial spirit was just high at that time. And so I think that by you being around that, I think you got bitten by the entrepreneurial bug as to what can I do and why wouldn't I want to do this? So I understand that. And I just wanted to give the audience that background because we love your mother. We love her.
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. But
Yeah.
that's definitely part of my background is the entrepreneurialism.
Yes.
My mother, my sister, and now me.
And now,
and I didn't see it coming. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Outside of the real estate, I didn't see having a brick and mortar ever.
Now, one other thing I wanted to add about your mother. Your mother had a fantastic singing voice. Oh my God. And
Yeah,
I think
that
your sister picked up on that part. That's.
I was going to say, unfortunately, that wasn't passed along to me. Although, wait a minute, I think it's mainly. I think I have a little voice.
Okay.
But my sister and my mother, every time I sing, they would tell me to stop.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
They would tell me to stop because they thought I couldn't sing.
Yeah.
But but I think, I think I can sing, Kevin, and I think that they were really jealous of my voice. So when they heard me sing, they would kind of say, stop.
And
Ava, they didn't want me to take their shine.
And Ava, that's going to be our little secret, okay? that's going to be our little secret. So,
well, you watch. I'll show you one day.
Yeah. Because I always tease your sister with my favorite song is "Wade in the Water," because that's the only Negro gospel song I can sing and I enjoy. But I guess,
Lord, yeah.
So I guess we are both digressing. But I thank you for your mother's wonderful spirit. So you've got all of that going on, and then you move into purchasing your second property, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're at Strawberry Fields.
Right.
Now, when you bought the business, was the business active at that time?
It was active.
Wow.
And to be honest, it was on, and that's why I thought, this is a win-win. But it was also at the end of a trend of the frozen yogurt industry.
Okay.
It was at the end of the trend. And I think I had like 1 or 2 good years, and then it kind of was steadily going down.
Okay.
And then you keep in mind that I was multitasking, working mom, and so I wasn't thriving.
Okay.
I was just kind of making it, and then before you know it, you'd have some good months, a few good months, and then there's the fact that it's seasonal.
Okay.
And then came COVID. And I know that sounds really negative, but I was still an optimist through it, because now one of the things I want to mention is my business is in a predominantly white community.
Well, before you get into that, because you mentioned another thing too. So when the business was already running that you purchased, we want to call that a turnkey business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so did your employees, did they know that you were coming in to purchase the business, and did they know that you were African American?
Did the
employees?
Oh, I see. Well, there was one employee actually at the time.
Okay, gotcha.
And she was a very young girl, and I don't think that she cared whether or not I was African American or not. I think that the girl there, she was getting a certain salary, right? Like they were getting a certain, and that's what she just wanted to maintain that.
Okay.
And to be honest, that would have been fine if she were doing all the things to grow the business. But
gotcha.
If you're an absentee owner, you have no idea. If you're an absentee business owner in a business that really requires for you to be there day to day, your business will not be successful or thrive, because unless you I know that there are employees there who care and may care just as much as the owner, but it's really hard to find. So bottom line is, that one employee eventually left. I had to hire new staff, and that happened. And there was turnover. But I had to grow to understand what was the right staff and what are the requirements and what is the employee rule book and what is going on when I'm not here. And so that's the part where I said that even in this business, I made mistakes along the way, because I was working, I wasn't there every day. And I was, had my pharmaceutical career, and I was able to cover, what would not happen, because I had that salary. from the pharma world, I was able to cover it. So I wasn't paying attention the way I should have been.
Okay. Now you were about to mention that when you purchased a property, it was in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood.
Yeah. So the business is in a predominantly white neighborhood, and what that means is that they support my business, right?
Yes.
But what it also means is that I'm not part of that culture,
Yes.
right? And it means that I'm introducing new culture.
Yes.
There's a different nuance when you come into my business, and there's a different vibe.
Okay.
And that wasn't always the case. When I first opened up the shop, my shop was when I first bought the shop, it was pink and green.
Okay.
And then it was like very kiddie.
Yeah.
And what it is, and what it looks like now, this looks more. There's more of a cool vibe to it. It's like nice neutral tones. It's a space. I'm trying to create a space where anybody, it doesn't matter what color, what age, you are, that everyone will feel comfortable. And what I have noticed about most kids, a toddler, 3, 4, 5, they don't care if the walls are pink or if there's like ice cream cones on the wall.
Yes.
They only care about the ice cream in their hand.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Therefore, I can focus on creating a vibe that is authentic to me. And that took time.
Okay.
To be a little bit like, okay, I know I'm here, but this is my place. I pay the rent, and I want this to be a reflection of me.
Yes.
And I had people, I have close friends say, oh no, don't play that music. Don't put that picture on your wall. And the reality is that these kids who come to my shop, these white young kids, know more about Drake and Kanye and rap culture than I probably ever will.
Yeah.
They've listened to, sometimes I actually play with it. They come in, I have my playlist.
Yes.
And sometimes when they come in, I change it up.
Okay.
I might put Drake on, and they're like, "Oh, I love this song." They start playing. They know it.
Okay.
They know all the lyrics.
Wow.
Okay. So the the reality is, and then I think that this is actually something that's happening in our overall, like generally, the idea of being more authentic, right? That's what you hear all the time. Be more authentic. Be true to yourself. And it wasn't until I began doing that and not caring about anyone else's thoughts about my place and accommodating it for a specific audience.
Yes.
I want to accommodate for everyone.
Awesome. Yes.
Through my own ideas.
Yes. Yes.
And if you can get with that, then you'll love Strawberry Fields.
Wow. Now, so I'm born and raised in New Jersey, but I've never heard of that town. What is that town next to?
It is next to Summit. It is next to Berkeley Heights. It is in Chatham. It is all of that.
Yeah, okay. Now I know where you are now. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
And so when you say seasonal, what do you mean? You open up, say, in March?
That means, it started out frozen yogurt, and even there's I guess an idea that people only eat frozen yogurt in the summertime, whereas people eat ice cream all year round, right?
Yeah.
Ice cream Carvel doesn't close in the wintertime.
No.
And so, but the business begins to drop off around, I would say around November, December.
Okay.
And so I close in January.
Okay.
So for the month of January, I'm closed, and then we open back up around Valentine's Day, and then it starts to pick up end of February and March.
So that's not really seasonal. That's just you taking a month off or closing for a month.
That's me taking time for myself.
Yes.
I started doing that the last 3 years.
Okay.
And seasonal meaning that there are certain businesses that are kind of the same all year round.
Yes.
But in an ice cream world, when you're selling cold objects, the crowd will drop, and that's why I had to open it up to do coffee and muffins and things of that nature.
Okay. Now, How did you go about selecting vendors to supply you with your ice cream, your coffee, your muffins? Do you do any cooking or baking on premise? Do you have your own personal recipe?
I actually do my own waffle recipe, and it's we do waffles on weekends.
Yes.
And now I'm even changing that what do you call it? I'm changing it to an experience. I'm changing the
Okay.
waffles to an experience.
Okay.
And so, because what was happening, I was making my waffles. I wasn't selling all my waffles. People didn't know. Wasn't marketing it. People are not coming to frozen Strawberry Fields for waffles. They're coming to Strawberry Fields for frozen yogurt because
Yes.
it hasn't caught on yet. So what I'm trying to do now, I'm working with Open Table. In fact, I have a meeting with them tomorrow to create an experience.
Okay.
And I'll do a little video kind of, pretend party on the video to show people that you can book a reservation
Yes.
and prepay and come to Strawberry Fields, and this will be after hours, and you can have a chicken and waffle experience.
What?
And yeah, you can have you can
Yes.
get your people.
Uh-huh.
You can do a chicken and waffle experience. And I'm serious. You should do this because we have an outside. And I know you love it. I know you love your cigars.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can smoke your cigars outside. So you can have chicken and waffles inside and have your cigars outside. Put on a
Wow.
little house music.
Come
Put on a
on
little
now.
house music.
Come on now.
I'm trying to tell you, this is
Yeah, yeah.
what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And the only way, and as I think about it, when I create the experience, I want to ask people a few questions, like what they like, so that when they come, I'm kind of playing the genre of the music that they like
Yeah, yeah.
and catering it to them. So that's something that I'm working on now, creating
Love
that
it.
chicken and waffle experience. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Wow, Ava, man, this is fantastic. I'm getting goosebumps. That was good. So, what continues to be a challenge in this particular business for you?
I think right now, because I don't want to say post-COVID right now, but what I see happening is people are coming out. And I've had past few days. I've had some good days. We've had some great weather, and I've had some more changes in the store. The challenge is for me right now, is to forecast the consistency of my numbers.
Yes.
And that will only be determined I would say, the next 6 months.
Okay.
And I'm just keeping it real,
Yes.
keeping it transparent. It has to be consistent, and the numbers have to keep on going up,
Okay.
because you can't. And I heard this before, and it is so true. If you have a business, it's not a hobby. It's a business.
Yes.
If you're not making money, then you have to really think about that. There's a certain lifestyle and quality of life that everybody wants to have, and that's what I want.
Yes.
I had it when I worked in the pharma world.
Yes.
I don't have that keep it real, keep it 100.
Yeah.
I don't have that paycheck right now.
Got you.
Okay?
Got you.
So if that paycheck and more is not coming from my business, then what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Understood.
Okay? But again, it's consistency, it's discipline, belief, it's all those things that make it come to fruition. So I want to keep it going. I want to see, because it seems to be moving finally in the right direction
Yes.
for me. So please keep me in your prayers, Kevin,
Absolutely.
because it will soon, the future the very near future will determine
Now,
a lot.
Speaking about determinations, 3 years from now, using a crystal ball, where do you hope to be?
3 years from now, look at that. Okay, I would say, that's a great question.
Yes.
Can it be either or?
It could be. This is your vision, not mine. This is yours.
3 years from now, I hope to have created a successful, unique business in a space that people want to come and be at and be known for my experiences,
Yes.
and at the same time be able to live the quality of life that I desire, which allows me to pursue more creativity.
Yes.
Okay? More creativity, because when you're in your business, you're in your business, and you kind of want to be also have a little free time
Yes.
to be creative. And that, I dabbled in, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me. I dabbled in DJing, okay? I dabbled in that.
Listen,
okay?
As soon as you said dabble, I said, no, she's not going to talk about the DJ.
Don't sleep on me, world.
I'm not going to sleep on me.
Okay. Don't sleep on my
yeah.
singing. Don't sleep on my singing. On my DJ skills.
No, never that, girlfriend. Never that. Listen, I'm going to ask a curious question, right?
Go ahead.
Would you ever? Well, two questions. Would you ever consider packaging up Strawberry Fields where it becomes franchisable? That's the first question. And then the second question is, there's this dynamic young man in the city of Trenton. I mean, he is responsible for attracting other entrepreneurs, Eric Maywar. And he is dynamic for giving you all the paperwork, putting you in touch with different bankers and grants and all the other possibilities of locating your business in Trenton. I'm going to put you two in touch because I think that there may be some synergy there, at least just for you to explore.
I think that if what I'm creating becomes a package that somebody else, that is well desired, and again, we'll see it because, there's certain things I'm not mentioning here in terms of my vision because it's my vision.
Understood.
And, I don't want to share it right now. I can share it with you when we get off the phone, but it's part, it's just part of my, it could be part of my business plan, and it could be marketable to be franchisable.
Yes.
Right. But again, one step at a time.
Okay. All right. No. Ava.
Yes, my dear.
Are hearts and minds clear? Is there anything else you wanted to say? That DJ part caught me out there, boy.
I do think that, and this is a little serious. So I just want to go talk a little bit about the part of being in a white community.
Yes.
And sometimes, there is a feeling of not being part of the culture, and then maybe not understanding and just wanting more support. And I feel there is a reason why we say support Black businesses.
Yes.
And that reason is because it's tough for us. It's tough in terms of access. It's tough in terms of loans. It's tough in terms of a lot of the businesses that are successful usually are family run, and maybe are second and third generation. They're part of the community. So as Black businesses are coming up, we're just as like sometimes even first generation.
Yes.
And so what most people do, and I'm not saying specifically, I'm not talking specifically why white people should support Black, I'm saying in general.
Yes.
What most people do, and I myself included, is we buy what we want to buy. That we buy that thing where we want to buy it and for the best price.
Yes.
In order to support a Black business, you really have to go out of your way to find that Black business that sells your thing. And that's not easy.
Yes.
Okay? That is not easy. So there has to be an intention of wanting to support a Black-owned business.
Yes.
And if you don't have that intention or understand it, then it's not going to happen. So what will happen in my community, if Susie wants strawberry ice cream, like if Little Susie wants strawberry ice cream and Strawberry Fields doesn't have strawberry ice cream today,
Yes.
they'll go someplace else
Yes.
because Little Susie wants. They're not going to say, oh, Little Susie, pick another ice cream because we want to support this Black business. You
Yes.
see? So there has to be an intention in supporting a Black-owned business.
Yes. Understood.
That's what I want to say.
Understood. Now, with the time, first of all, Ava, you've got to promise me that you're going to come back because we've got to do part 2. There's so many questions, and I feel you're just getting warmed up to the whole notion of podcasting and telling your story. So we're definitely going to do a part 2. But with the time that we have left, 2 things. Is there anything else that you want to share for the listening audience?
I guess it would be the obvious is to come to Strawberry Fields,
Okay.
located at 12 South Street, New Providence, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, and check me out.
Do you have a Facebook or a website?
I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
It is Strawberry Field, the number 4 and the letter EVA. Strawberry Field 4 Ava, EVA.
Okay, gotcha. Ava, you have been fantastic. I knew you were going to kill this interview. I knew it. Girlfriend, you
This was fun.
Right?
This was fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, I feel kind of famous. I feel kind of famous today.
You are famous. You're always famous in my world, Ava.
This is awesome. Thank you for inviting me. Seriously, thank you.
You're quite welcome, Ava. We'll talk and text later on, but certainly continued success in your business. Thank you for sharing, and we're certainly going to have you back.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You as well. Talk to you then.
That concludes another episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.